Good morning and welcome. It's Good Morning Anambra Friday episode, and we're so delighted. Thank God it's Friday. That's the in thing now. And it's the 29th day of April 2022. April is gradually winding up, and we're so delighted to see the end of April. All right, this is Nonya Nwokoye welcoming you to the show this morning. We begin with the press review. Welcome to the press review. On press review this morning, we have some of our national dailies as a tradition here, and of course stories making the headlines on ABS website. You know, it's audience participatory as well, so you have the opportunity to call in and make your own opinion count. And you can also go to our Facebook page in the course of the program to drop your comment. All right, in the studio I have Ejinkonye Ifechuku and Ejike Abata. Good to have you in the studio.
See you again.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, let's begin with looking at stories trending on ABS website. Anambra State Government dissolves caretaker committees of 30 markets across the state, constitutes new ones to replace the 2 other market leaderships with flawed elections. Anambra State Government goes tough against violation of traffic rules and regulations. Anambra State Government commences awareness sensitization program against early marriage. Soludo receives the POA National President Hajia Hajara Baba, re-echoes call for made in Nigeria products. IGP's wife Hajara Alkali Baba lays foundation stone for POA Skill Acquisition Center at Ukpo, Junokofia Council area. All right. A lot of stories on this platform. Which one are you picking?
I'll start with the call by the Ministry of Transportation against illegal
violation of traffic.
Violation of traffic, yes. It's high time the ministry look into it, and it's all about implementation. We drivers or motorists in Anambra State don't drive with reckless abandon. Driving against traffic, it's like a norm. Even when you have ATMA officials there, sometimes you tip them, sometimes you just drive before them and nothing happens. So while we warn motorists, ATMA officials and the Mocha Brigade officials should also be made to understand their duties at those points where motorists drive against traffic, especially. And then sometimes commuters unaware of oncoming vehicles from the opposite direction just walk across the road and they get hit, or sometimes they manage to escape by the whiskers. So it's a problem that needs to be looked into, and I hope implementation will follow up immediately, so that those who violate these laws will be made to pay the necessary fines or go or pay whatever penalty that is accrued to them.
Okay. You have something to say?
Yeah, I have something to add on that.
Okay.
I think the traffic officials are the ones that need to be schooled properly, because most times when, like, on the road, you just see these traffic officials. They are the ones that allow all these. Sometimes you see somebody just tip them,
especially commercial vehicles. You know,
tip them 200 naira, and they will allow you to pass one way. They'll be like, you should come, no problem. They will be the one even causing traffic on those going the proper lane, just to allow those on one way or stuff because of a tip they gave them to, as in, pass through a wrong.
I really hope authorities are watching this program this morning, because these are the things we all know happens on a daily basis. You know, one thing is saying something, and another thing is implementing it. All right, let's move on now. Let's look at the first paper for review this morning, Friday leadership, and it says political parties reject drug test for aspirants. Political parties reject drug test for aspirants, and you can see the pictures. Is it Seaholt? We call that, yes. In front of that paper. Okay, you can, looking at that picture, I don't know.
Don't begin to imagine.
You can deduce yourself what the picture actually is saying this morning. All right, we'll have a 2023 presidency again. Northern elders say no to zoning. 8 years after, 2 Chibok girls get master's degrees. Okay, we move on now. Niger 2023 blueprint publisher picks APC nomination form. Article 6 right of first refusal from PDP. Zenith Bank records 22% earnings growth in first quarter. Kano, Cross River, true example of national unity, Emir of Bayero. Nobody can rig 2023 elections. President Muhammadu Buhari tells politicians, with a rider there, denies ordering Senate to remove Section 84, subsection 12 from Electoral Act. All right, let us look at that banner headlines. Political parties reject drug test for aspirants. Who knows what the NDLEA saw that they proposed that test in the first place?
You know, sometimes when you see the policies, like the statements these leaders make, you'll be forced to ask, are these people in the right state of mind? Like, a lot of things they do, which you can compare them to those on the street. Sorry to say. But for the NDLEA to say they should do drug tests, then probably there is something they are seeing behind the picture which the general public is not seeing. For them to come out and boldly say that they should implement drug tests on politicians. Definitely, I think there is something that they know that we, the public, the leaders, are not showing us.
All right.
I don't think it's out of place for them to hold such, or for them to make such suggestion. Even the politicians are already crying blue mother and rejecting the suggestion by the NDLEA. Of course, in some organizations, if you aspire to be a member of the executive, you are subjected to some tests, including knowing if you belong to a cult group, if you're a cultist and all of that. So it shouldn't be out of place for politicians to subject themselves.
But drug tests, has it been there, been an issue?
No, it hasn't been there, but it's not, you know, when they say desperate times calls for desperate measures, things are beginning to go out of place. And in order to checkmate them, I don't blame the NDLEA. It's a good move. So it's one way to put politicians in line. I don't know why they are crying. And compared to what is happening between the NDLEA and the police, where one of them, a highly regarded police officer, has been found to be involved in drug trafficking, it's not out of place for NDLEA to say, okay, let's subject these people to this test.
All right, we move on now to the Guardian newspapers. Let's see stories making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper. Electoral Act I didn't order Senate to remove Section 84, subsection 12, Buhari tells court, which riders there says he only expressed concern. Malami, only appeal court can overturn judgment against Section 84, subsection 12. And Bajabiamila advises political appointees to resign. Falana describes Section 84 as draconian. APC insists Amechi Ngige Nwajuba not obliged to resign before Monday. Malami Shaban declare for Kebbi, Kaduna, Guba. Zenith grows earnings by 22%. Oba of Benin okays Oshimbajo as group counters Falana on Jonathan's eligibility. Omo Agege insists Okowa took 150 billion naira loan. Efforts to restart local manufacture of vaccines suffer setback. Police arrest Guba aspirant Dagogo despite protest by a Joyuts. Kaduna train attack. Terrorists release picture of baby born in captivity. Terrorists sack Kaduna community, abduct leader and farmers. And Southern Kaduna Afenifere falls Senate on Terrorism Act Amendment Bill. Now, on issue of abducting farmers, let me say something that I was speaking with a sister that stays in Niger State, and she was telling me that all the farmers has run to the city because they are being killed on a daily basis. And I was like, hunger is going to do something terrible in this country. You know, educate what.
We're already facing the hunger.
It's already here, but when the rains are coming, you know, when the hunger is already there.
Of course, there's no way farmers will be able to go back to the farms, even with the rains, because there's no security, there's no protection for them. In some areas, you have to pay the terrorists for them to allow you to come to the farm. Right. That's what is obtainable. So everybody is living in fear, and nobody will want to risk his or her life so as to be able to feed either the nation or the state, whichever way we want to look at it. Because these are farmers who grow crops that are exported to other parts of the country. So it's safety first for them. You have to be alive to be able to provide whatever services or products you are producing. So even with the rains, going back to the farm, it's more like a mirage. And if you look at how these things have progressed over the time, nothing tangible seems to have been done. It's not as if, okay, some farmers in some areas are able to go back because there's security in that particular. No, it's getting worse by the day. So the more, about last month or early this month, federal government had to release some quantities of grain from the national silo. What that means is that we are not able to produce what we eat now. We have to go back to our reservoir to get grains. So if what we have in stock, we exhaust them, what becomes of us? So we have now begin to go and import food products from neighboring countries. So it's a really, really big problem. And it also shows in the prices of food stuff in the markets. Because
the ones that are already out there.
They are the ones that are already out there. So they begin to, the prices are increasing by the day. And we are humans. One, it's a basic necessity. You must eat. So even if they sell them you must look for ways to be able to buy them. And nobody talks about balanced diet today. So it's a big
highly
problem.
Frightening.
It is.
It's frightening.
It is.
Okay, let's move on now. Let's see the next paper in our lineup, the Nigerian Tribune. Let's see stories making the headlines on the Nigerian Tribune. Falana, 2023 presidency. Falana talking now. 1999 Constitution. Supreme Court decisions have disqualified Jonathan, with riders there cites Ladoja Nyako cases, says ex-president will spend more than 8 years if elected. FG declares Monday, Tuesday public holidays. Zenith Bank expands a market share with 22% gross earnings in first quarter of 2022. Access Holdings target 100 million customers in 5 years. Consensus, IBB didn't force us on North. Bauchi governor talking. Elders from 3 zones in the North were voted. That's Ango Abdullahi speaking. Buhari does not understand Nigeria, coming from Tambuwal. We also have Edo High Court bars Edo government from collecting land use charge. Bandits abduct village head in Kaduna, demand tramadol, petrol, cigarettes as ransom. Nigeria, 4 others risk outbreak of measles, WHO, UNICEF warn. Oyo APC members meet in Ajimobi's house, begin reconciliation processes. 17 PDP presidential aspirants to be screened today. I have 11 million ready votes. Atiku talking, wants PDP to grant him right of first refusal on presidential ticket. Buhari does okay, and a lot of stories in front of that paper. Can we look at that the banner headline concerning the 2023 presidency and 1999 constitution, as Falana is talking. It says the Supreme Court decision have disqualified Jonathan. You know, in yesterday and the day before yesterday, there's a report on national dailies, some of the national dailies we reviewed here, that the posters of Jonathan is littered all over the North. So
to start with, it would be wrong, morally wrong, for Jonathan to come back to contest. My opinion, of course. It would be morally wrong for him, and it would be more devastating if he contests under the APC. This is an APC government that accused Jonathan of destabilizing the economy. They always shifted the blame to Jonathan's administration. Whatever happened in the past, fuel subsidy, insecurity, every blame was heaped on Jonathan, and he's being courted to come back and vie for the presidency under the APC. It's very wrong. That aside, according to what we have, the Constitution, Jonathan, going by the research that I've made on my own, cannot qualify, he can't stand for re-election as president of Nigeria. Why? Because he has been sworn in, not minding if he served 80 years or not. He has been sworn in, and the law says if anybody who has been sworn in twice cannot stand for an election. So that disqualifies Jonathan as it is now.
Okay.
Yeah. But coming to that, it's not about, though according to the law he has been sworn in twice, but then, you know, in the past, people don't come out and say they want to rule. It's the community now that say, is this person we want? So now, if Nigerians are clamoring that they want Jonathan, though I won't say he should run if he wants to run, if he decides to run, I won't say he should run under the APC government.
Is it Nigeria that
no, a lot of
Nigeria, is it Nigeria or the North? You know, let's be clear on
no. Let me tell you, if you compare this regime and the previous one, that is his regime, you will see that there is a very big difference.
We know.
So a lot of persons will prefer, instead of continuing this particular one, it's better we go back to that one, which was more, at least a bit favorable.
Is it now Nigeria that is, or a particular region?
It's a particular region.
Yes, that's...
Jonathan did well in his time.
Because I know that severally on this platform, a lot of analysts have said that he should know that even a caller from the North said if he goes back, it tantamount to him rubbing shit on his body, something like that. You know,
it's very obvious. That's why I said it's morally wrong for him. If he shouldn't come back. And I dare say that if he comes, he will not win. Okay,
let's move on now. To this day newspaper. Let's see stories making the headlines on this day. Train attack. Terrorists release photograph of baby delivered in captivity by abducted woman. Look at that beautiful baby in front of that paper. Okay, Omar expressed dismay, appeals for international communities intervention. We have Zenith Bank's growth accelerates with 22% rise in gross earnings in first quarter. Total joins exodus of oil majors from onshore Nigeria, sleeping innocently, oblivious of our situation. That's that's what you can see. I think let's look at that baby carefully and see the wonders God can perform wherever you are, and the way the baby is just lying down and everything.
The caption is touches me. The baby is sleeping
innocently
of our situation. And before now, relatives of that woman had said that they have a woman in captivity who is almost due for delivery. And thank God, we've not read the story, so we don't know the condition of the mother, but we hope and pray she's fine as well. Yes, and this goes to show you how mean these terrorists are. A woman who is almost due for delivery, you still insist to keep her, not minding her medications, and indeed God is a wondrous God, not minding her medications.
Who knows whether there are doctors there?
Even if there are not doctors, there should be traditional child, what do they call them, child delivery women there. This thing is an organized crime. It's not just, you can see them demanding for tramadol and petrol and cigarettes in exchange for human life. So it's an organized crime. So don't be so. I don't want to believe that it's the male terrorists there who helped in delivering that child. No, there should be, even if they are not there, even women in captivity can also help. There can be emergency midwives there who will help in the delivery. But by and large, we thank God the baby is safe. We also hope the mother is safe and recovering very well as well.
Okay, let's move on now. The Daily Trust newspaper is next in our lineup. On the Daily Trust, we still have the picture of that beautiful baby born in captivity. But we're looking very closely on the face of that baby. I think that baby needs medical attention. Like there's this yellowish something that they call jaundice, something like that. Okay, let's move on. High stakes in Southwest at 5 aspirants. Eye tickets from zone. Oshimbajo, Tinubu, and most two others to split zones. 1,568 delegates. We are awaiting direction parties will take. Afenifere talking. We should strive for a national president. And the doubt over suicide committed by soldier working with Boko Haram. Doubts over suicide committed by soldier working with Boko Haram. PDP ticket, Atiku, Saraki, Wike, 14 others for screening today. Kaduna train attack, terrorists release captives, newborn babies picture. That's what we've already seen. 700 firms bid for 12 billion naira railway project. 2023, again, Buhari warns against foreign interference, vows to block rigging. Zenith Bank records 191 billion naira growth in first quarter. A lot of stories there.
The picture of that where they say terrorists release captives, newborn babies picture. Now my question is, this picture, it was released on the net, and there's something we call IP, which is traceable. So I don't understand how something like this will be done, and the securities have not like buckled up and tried to find out where, because there is no way you tell me as a nation they don't have the security, they don't have the sophisticated gadgets to track where these things are coming from, no matter how they want to hide it. As a nation, we should have like a sophisticated something that we can use to track something like, because looking at the baby, you see that at the color on the baby's face, this baby needs a proper medical attention. So I think the security, like we've been talking about this thing every
there's what
time.
Ejike said earlier. Ejike, you talked something about coordinated, organized, yes, something like that. Do you really think people don't know?
That's the question.
They know where they
are. Villagers who live around there know where the terrorists are. Security operatives, they know where several times the Nigerian Air Force have shown on drones where these terrorists are. So I do not know why they've not been able to go there.
That's just the
they've not told us why. Even P2B said it some time ago. It's how can people release picture today in a modern world where you have gadgets, you have internet,
and make calls,
and make calls,
yeah,
and you tell us you can't trace them? Who does that, for God's sake? So that's it's just another story for another day, because the security agencies
and we have name linked to our phones, and some people's lines were bad as a result of a lot of things.
Of course, it's laughable. They know where they are, so it's not an
all right, the next is the Vanguard newspaper. Now let's see stories on the Vanguard newspaper. Osinbajo is trying to tell his story, how I became VP. That's coming from the Vice President. Osinbajo says he was surprised when Buhari nominated him as running mate. Intrigues that led to his nomination. Why I'm telling the story, how we chose Osinbajo presidency. Source: I'm not prepared for president. Sorry, I'm most prepared for president. That's still the Vice President talking. Workers' Day, Eid al-Fitr, federal government declares a May 2-3 public holidays. Gunmen attack bullion van in Imo, smashed many vehicles. 2023, why I oppose Section 84, subsection 12 of new Electoral Act. Buhari tells court, 30 days after train attack, federal government should have rescued kidnapped victims. That's coming from Khan. How housing agency took my life savings, rendered me homeless. Octogenarian. This is a very pathetic one. Delta 2023, why I won't accept your candidate. Okowa tells Ibori. Zenith Bank records 22% growth in first quarter of 2022. Again, train attack. Terrorists release picture of baby born in captivity. PDP screens Ekweremadu, Abaribe, Nnaji, Jandor, 29 other governorship aspirants. All right, Ejike.
Let me quickly talk about Ibori and Okowa. I'm not trying to take us back. What statements like this is the reason why, or might be the reason why NDLEA is saying let's subject these people to drug test. Imagine Okowa telling Ibori, I cannot accept your candidate. So Ibori is now the kingmaker in Delta State, such that every election he presents somebody to become governor. So, like other people's opinion does not count. Anybody he wishes he presents. That's aside. There's this the major headline on that paper.
How I became VP.
How I became VP. It's laughable when things happen. Politics is one funny and interesting game in Nigeria. The VP is saying he was surprised when Buhari called him. Buhari, you weren't just sleeping and Buhari called you. Somebody must have introduced or mentioned your name to Buhari. It's even possible that he never met Buhari before he became vice president. Somebody must have introduced you. And we've heard over time how Tinubu made you vice president. You never said anything about it up until this moment. You announced, even in some report, he said Tinubu had no hand in him becoming vice president. Yes, that is how funny politics can be. This is Tinubu who is seen as Lord in the southwest. Tinubu is the kingmaker in every state in southwest. Tinubu is said to have nominated Osinbajo and presented him to Buhari before he was made, and this is and here he is the vice president saying Tinubu had no hand. That is how funny politics can be in Nigeria, because both of them are now vying for the same seats. It's very laughable.
Okay, all right. Moving on now, let's look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper presidency, PDP rep Sands warned Jonathan, group threatens a suit. Ex-president can't contest, it's risky. He will be ridiculed. Falana talking, Emeka Ngige also speaking. Reject APC, Buhari's offer. It's offensive, disgraceful to all of us, PDP reps. We'll go to court if Jonathan joins race. We won't tolerate impunity. Group talking. And the picture in front of the Punch shows youth corps members that passed out day before yesterday from camp. And we say congratulations to them. 65 corps members to repeat service in Ondo. Others, a lot of reasons we're giving actually why they are going to repeat their service here. PDP leaders will work to rescue Nigeria, says Makinde. UI student disappears from Lagos construction site. Family panics. AFC, others emerge preferred bidders for 12 federal highways. And we have NLC planned solidarity protest, 3-day warning strike. That's the ASU, coming from ASU. Train attack, terrorists release newborn pictures. Can intensifies prayers. I deserve right of first refusal. Atiku tells PDP. NNPC, 3 orders generate 28.02 trillion naira in 3 years. All right. I think it's important we look at the story of these youth corps members, because having been in the camp for how many months and you're sent to where you do your primary assignment and everything, and after 1 year you're going to repeat your services. We really need to talk to our youth. So what do you think?
Is it talking to? I don't know.
You know, there's a report I had yesterday that some of them misconducts in the camp. So that's one of the reasons. I don't know the kind of misconduct actually, but something must have happened. Maybe you're not in the camp, or you did not serve up to the months you're going to serve, or you did not do what you're expected to do. Yeah. So why did you go there in the first place?
The thing is, so many things happen in camp. So many things happen in PPAs. Even in camp, we are told you are not expected to come with a car. You are not expected to bring in some items, household items. But in some camps, people boil water. Where did they get the stove? I'm not even talking of electric jug or boiling. No, where did they get the stove or the gas cooker to boil water to use in camp? Of course, sexual immorality is just the youthful exuberance. That does happen. Then, place of honor, it depends people who were caught or who are to repeat. It depends on the agreement they had with their supervisors. Probably they decided to keep every share of the money they got from NYC to themselves without giving to their supervisors. People pay their way out. We have people who serve in the north, but they are here in the east. When it's time for them to take their money, some persons go through the stress of going to the north to collect their years.
Accreditation.
Even some persons don't even go for that physical accreditation. It all depends on your money. This is Nigeria, for God's sake. That's where it starts.
For them to say they should repeat, then definitely there was a misagreement.
There's a misagreement somewhere. The proper hands were not greased.
All right, for want of time, let's see the Nation newspaper. Let's see stories on the Nation newspaper. Buhari to court, Electoral Act 84 of 12 unconstitutional. PDP's suit for hearing May 16. APC drops guideline on resignation, awaits court verdict. NEF chair urges parties to throw presidential ticket open. PDP screens 48 aspirants for governor in Southwest, Southeast. We also have insecurity. Sokoto residents sleep in Niger Republic. Terrorists release photo of baby born in hostage. Zenith Bank first quarter earnings rose by 22%, and a whole lot of other stories. Quickly, we take the next paper, the Daily Independent newspaper. Ramadan, airlines raise fares to northern states by 167%. Fare determined by demand supply. NCAA Dana Air speaking. Now, Jonathan not qualified to contest for president again. Falana talking. 2023 presidency, give me right of first refusal. Atiku begs PDP leaders. Labour threatens strike over FG's negligence of ASU. ASU vows to resume suspended strike next week. Oshimbada debunks Tinubu's influence in becoming vice president. You've said it here earlier. Now, Buhari vows to protect votes of Nigerians in 2023 election. Total to put its stake in joint venture on sale. Okay, FG states local government share 19.01 trillion naira mineral revenue in 3 years. All right, let's look at the issue of strike, and ASU. Now, Labour is threatening to join. Of course, that is what we see every time in Nigeria when the matter is becoming somehow, the NLC will now join. They are going to hand down tools in solidarity with us.
There is a way it seems that the country is not stable, like different sectors lacking. Meanwhile, these persons that are supposed to put things in order, you hear this person saying he has gotten 100 million naira to come out for to run for presidency, and this same like, I don't know, is it that this education sector now, is it that they just want to kill it or what? Because neglecting the education sector, what do you expect the future of the country to be? Because these youths now, when you don't educate them properly, in time to come, these same persons that you don't educate will be the same people that you still be fighting against, because you did not give them the proper things they need. So I don't know why, like, the education, like, for months now, student has been sitting at home.
All right, well, we can go on, but time is no longer here with us. Please, would like to thank you so much, Ejike Abata and Ejinkonye Ifechuku. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
You're welcome.
And this is where we wrap up good, press review for now. More things are on the shelf for Good Morning Anambra. Please don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.